Gods of Egypt is a 2016 fantasy action film directed by Alex Proyas based on a fantastical version of ancient Egyptian deities. It stars Nicolaj Coster-Waldau, Brenton Thwaites, Chadwick Boseman, Elodie Young, Courtney Eaton, Rufus Sewell, Gerard Butler, Jeffrey Rush, and Brian Brown. The film follows the Egyptian god Horus, who partners with a mortal Egyptian thief, on a quest to rescue his love and to save the world from Set. 5. Filming took place in Australia under the film production and distribution company Summit Entertainment in conjunction with Thunder Road Pictures and Proyas production company Mystery Clock Cinema. While the film's production budget was $140 million, the parent company Lionsgate's financial exposure was less than $10 million because of tax incentives and pre-sales. The Australian government provided a tax credit for 46% of the film's budget. When Lionsgate began promoting the film in November 2015, it received backlash for its predominantly white cast playing Egyptian deities. In response, Lionsgate and director Proyas apologized for their ethnically inaccurate casting. Lionsgate released Gods of Egypt in theaters globally, starting on February 25, 2016, in 2D, RealD 3D, and IMAX 3D, and in the United States, Canada, and 68 other markets on February 26. It received generally negative reviews from critics and grossed a total of $150.7 million against a $140 million budget, becoming a box office bomb and losing $90 million for Lionsgate. It received 5 nominations at the 37th Golden Raspberry Awards. Plot: in ancient Egypt, where the gods live among the mortals, thief Bek and his lover Zaya attend the coronation of King Osiris's son, Horus. However, Osiris is killed by his jealous brother Set, who then defeats Horus and takes his eyes. Set proclaims himself the new king and commands humans to pay riches to pass into the afterlife. 1 year later, with Egypt enslaved by Set and Isis having committed suicide, Zaya steals plans for Set's pyramid from chief architect Urdu. Bek uses the plans to infiltrate Set's treasure vault and steals one of Horus's eyes, but he and Zaya are caught by Urdu, who kills Zaya as she and Bek try to escape. Bek takes her body to the exiled Horus along with the eye and promises to help find the other if he brings Zaya back from the dead. Meanwhile, Set launches an assault on the rebels and claims the wings of his wife Nephthys. Bek and Horus visit the divine vessel of Horus's grandfather Ra, who is neutral about matters in Egypt and in conflict with the shadow beast Apophis, which threatens to devour the world. Ra does not restore Horus's power but allows him to take a vial of divine waters to weaken Set. Ra explains that Horus's loss of his powers is the result of not fulfilling his destiny, which Horus believes means avenging his parents' deaths. Returning to Egypt, Bek and Horus escape from Nephthys, who is then killed by Set for failing to stop them. Set orders Hathor to take him to the underworld, but she refuses and joins Bek and Horus after rescuing them from Astarte and Anat. They hatch a plan to infiltrate Set's pyramid, recruiting Thoth to solve the riddle of the guardian Sphinx. Passing the pyramid's entryway and the Sphinx's riddle, they reach the source of Set's power, but before using the diving water they are ambushed by Set, who incapacitates Thoth and takes his brain, traps Horus and Hathor and destroys the water vial. Horus breaks the trap and Hathor calls on Anubis to take Bek to save Zaya, offering her bracelet as Zaya's payment for passage to the afterlife, but in doing so exiles herself to the underworld. Absorbing Thoth's brain, Osiris's heart, Horus's eye, and Nephthys' wings, Set confronts Ra aboard his solar barge. Ra explains Set's mistreatment and impotency was a test to prepare him to take Ra's place as defender of the world against Apophis. Dismayed, Set decides to destroy the afterlife to become immortal and uses his new powers to overpower Ra. Set takes Ra's spear and throws him from the barge, freeing Apophis to consume the mortal and underworld realms. As Apophis attacks, Anubis closes the gates to the afterlife. Not wanting an afterlife without Bek, Zaya refuses Hathor's gift and encourages Bek to return to Egypt and help Horus defeat Set. As Horus battles Set atop an obelisk, Beck kills Urdu before removing Horace's other eye from Set's armor, mortally wounding himself in the process. Regaining his power to transform, Horace flies after Beck, realizing his true destiny is to protect his people. With renewed strength, Horace outmaneuvers and kills Set. Finding Ra wounded in the ether, Horace returns his spear, allowing Ra to repel Apophis and Anubis to reopen the gates. A child returns Horace's other eye and the god lays Beck in Osiris's tomb beside Zaya. For his deeds, Ra offers to bestow Horace with any power and Horace asks that Beck and Zaya be brought back to life. Ra restores Beck and Zaya, as well as the gods who had not already passed into the afterlife. Horace is crowned king and declares access to the afterlife will be paid with good deeds in life. Beck is made chief advisor and gives Hathor's bracelet to Horace, who leaves to retrieve her from the underworld. Cast: Brenton Thwaites as Beck, a young thief who allies with Horace. Nicolaj Coster-Waldau as Horus, the Egyptian god of air, son of Isis and Osiris. Chadwick Boseman as Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom. Elodie Young as Hathor, the Egyptian goddess of love and Horus lover. Courtney Eaton as Zaya, Beck's lover. Gerard Butler as Set, the Egyptian god of the desert and brother of Osiris. Geoffrey Rush as Ra, the Egyptian god of the sun and father of Osiris and Set. Brian Brown as Osiris, the Egyptian god of the afterlife, the king of Egypt, and the father of Horus. Rufus Sewell as Urdu, Set's mortal second-in-command and architect. Rachel Blake as Isis, the wife of Osiris. Emma Booth as Nephthys, sister of Isis and wife of Set. In addition, Lindsay Ferris provides as the voice of an older Beck who narrates the film. Yaya Deng and Abby Lee also appear as Astarte and Anad, goddesses of war who are loyal to Set and ride giant fire-breathing cobras. Goran D. Clewood provides the voice and motion capture of Anubis, the jackal-headed Egyptian god who leads Zaya into the underworld. Alexander England provides the voice and motion capture of Nevis, the leader of the Egyptian minotaurs that work for Set and can assume a human form. Kenneth Ransom provides the voice and motion capture of the riddle-giving Sphinx that guards the entrance to Set's pyramid. Production. Development. The world of gods of Egypt never really existed. It is inspired by Egyptian mythology, but it makes no attempt at historical accuracy because that would be pointless. None of the events in the movie ever really happened. It is about as reality-based as Star Wars, which is not real at all. Maybe one day if I get to make further chapters I will reveal the context of the when and where of the story. But one thing is for sure, it is not set in ancient Egypt at all. Director Alex Proyas, December 2015. 6. Gods of Egypt is directed by Alex Proyas based on a screenplay by Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless. The film was produced under Summit Entertainment. Proyas was contracted by Summit in May 2012, to write the screenplay with Sazama and Sharpless, and to direct the film. 7. Proyas said he sought to make a big-budget film with an original premise, to contrast franchise films. The director cited the following films as influences on Gods of Egypt: The Guns of Navarone, 1961, Lawrence of Arabia, 1962, The Man Who Would Be King, 1975, Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981, and Sergio Leone's Western films. 8. Lionsgate anticipated that Gods of Egypt would be the first film in a new franchise after it finished releasing the Hunger Games films. Casting. Actor Nicolaj Coster-Waldau was cast in June 2013. 9. Gerard Butler, Geoffrey Rush, and Brenton Thwaites joined the cast toward the end of 2013. 10. Chadwick Boseman and Elodie Young joined the cast at the start of 2014. 11. Filming. The film was shot in Australia. A crew of 200 began pre-production in Sydney in New South Wales, and producers considered filming in Melbourne, Victoria, to take advantage of the state's tax incentive. Docklands Studios Melbourne was too booked to accommodate Gods of Egypt, and producers were instead offered an airport facility for production. 12. The Australian states of New South Wales and Victoria competed to be the location of the film's production, and Summit selected New South Wales in February 2014. New South Wales Deputy Premier Andrew Stoner estimated that the production would add 400 jobs to the state and contribute $75 million to its economy. 13 NB1. Principal photography began on March 19, 2014 at Fox Studios Australia in Sydney. 14 The setting of Anubis Temple was filmed at Centennial Park in Sydney, and visual effects were laid over the scene. 15 The production budget was $140 million. John Feldheimer, the CEO of Summit's parent company Lionsgate, said Lionsgate's financial exposure was under $10 million due to tax incentives of filming in Australia, as well as foreign pre-sales. 1617 The Australian government's tax credit to have the film produced in the country covered 46% of the $140 million production budget, and most of the remaining budget was covered by the foreign pre-sales. 4. In the film, the gods in humanoid form are 9 feet, 2.7 m, tall, and in battle beast form are over 12 feet, 3.7 m, tall. Proyas used forced perspective and motion control photography to portray the difference in height between the actors portraying the gods and the humans. Proyas called the logistical challenge a reverse Hobbit, referring to the Lord of the Rings films, in which hobbits are depicted as shorter than humans. 6 For the Sphinx, actor Kenneth Ransom portrayed the giant creature via motion capture. For the god Thoth, who can appear as many copies, actor Chadwick Boseman was filmed hundreds of times from different angles. For a scene with many copies of Thoth, other actors took a day to film the scene, where Boseman filmed the scene for 3 days. 15. Music. Gods of Egypt, original motion picture soundtrack. Soundtrack album by Marco Beltrami. Released February 16, 2016. Genre film score. Length 75:04. Label Varese Saraband. Producer Marco Beltrami. Marco Beltrami chronology. The Night Before. 2015, Gods of Egypt, original motion picture soundtrack. 2016, The Shallows. 2016. Composer Marco Beltrami, who scored Proyas's previous films Knowing, 2009, and I, Robot, 2004, returned to score Gods of Egypt. 6. Racial and ethnic casting. White actors, predominantly of Northwestern European descent, make up most of the principal cast of Gods of Egypt. When Lionsgate began marketing the film, the Associated Press said the distributor received backlash for ethnically inaccurate casting. Lionsgate and director Alex Proyas both issued apologies. The AP said, while some praised the preemptive mea culpa, others were more skeptical, concluding that it simply meant to shut down any further backlash. 18. The casting practice of white actors as ancient Egyptian characters was first reported after filming started in March 2014, when Daily Life's Ruby Hamid highlighted the practice as Hollywood whitewashing. 19 Lionsgate released a set of character posters in November 2015, and The Guardian reported that the casting received a backlash on Twitter over the predominantly white cast. Some suggested that the casting of black actor Chadwick Boseman, who plays the god Thoth, played into the magical Negro stereotype. The previous year, the biblical epic Exodus, Gods and Kings by director Ridley Scott received similar backlash for having a white cast. 20 NB2 The Washington Post's Soraya Nadia McDonald also disparaged the casting practice for Gods of Egypt and said Lionsgate released the posters at an unfortunate time. She said with the release of Aziz Ansari's TV series Master of None in the previous week, whitewashed casting and the offensiveness of brownface has pretty much dominated the pop culture conversation this week. Promotion for the movie is beginning just as we're wrapping a banner year for discussions of diversity and gender pay equity in the film industry. 21. When Lionsgate followed its release of posters with the release of a theatrical trailer, Scott Mendelson at Forbes said, "The implication remains that white actors, even generic white actors with zero box office draw, are preferable in terms of domestic and overseas box office than culturally specific, minority, actors who actually look like the people they are supposed to be playing. He said almost none of the actors, aside from potentially Butler, qualified as box office draws. 22 Bets Evelyn Diaz said while Ridley Scott had defended his casting practice for Exodus by claiming the need to cast box office draws, Gods of Egypt is headlined by character actors and Gerard Butler, none of whom will have people running to the theater on opening day. 23. Deadline's Ross A. Lincoln said of the released trailer, "Casting here stands out like a sore thumb left over from 1950s Hollywood. I suspect this film generates a lot of conversation before it hits theaters February 26, 2016. 24. In response to criticisms of its casting practice, director Alex Proyas and Lionsgate issued apologies in late November 2015 for not considering diversity. Lionsgate said it would strive to do better. Mendelsohn of Forbes said the apologies were a somewhat different response than defenses made by Ridley Scott for Exodus and Joe Wright for Pen, 2015. 25 Ava DuVernay, who directed Selma, 2014, said, "This kind of apology never happens, for something that happens all the time. An unusual occurrence worth noting." 26. The Guardian's Ben Childs said, "The apologies are remarkable, especially given that Gods of Egypt does not debut in cinemas until February 26 and could now suffer at the box office." 27. Michael Ordona of San Francisco Chronicle said of the apologies, "That's little comfort to the non-white actors denied opportunities or the Egyptians who will see a pale shadow of their ancestral traditions." 28. The Casting Society of America applauded the statements from Lionsgate and Proyas. Professor Todd Boyd, chairman for the study of race and popular culture at the University of Southern California, said, "The apology is an attempt to have it both ways. They want the cast that they selected and they don't want people to hold it against them that it's a white cast." 18. Boseman, who plays the god Thoth, commenting on the whitewashing by saying that he expected the backlash to happen when he saw the script, "I'm thankful that it did, because actually, I agree with it. That's why I wanted to do it, so you would see someone of African descent playing Thoth, the father of mathematics, astronomy, the god of wisdom." 29. Actor Nikolaj Coster-Waldau said, "A lot of people are getting really worked up online about the fact that I'm a white actor. I'm not even playing an Egyptian, I'm an 8-foot-tall god who turns into a falcon. A part of me just wants to freak out, but then I think, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't win in that sort of discussion." 30. In the month leading up to release, director Proyas said his film was fantasy and not intended to be history. He cited creative license and artistic freedom of expression to cast the actors he found to fit the roles. He said whitewashing was a justified concern, but for his fantasy film, to exclude any one race in service of a hypothetical theory of historical accuracy, would have been biased. Proyas said that films need more people of color and a greater cultural diversity, but that Gods of Egypt is not the best one to soapbox issues of diversity with. He argued that the lack of English-speaking Egyptian actors, production practicalities, the studio's requirement for box office draws, and Australia having guidelines limiting imported actors were all factors in casting for the film. He concluded, "I attempted to show racial diversity, black, white, Asian, as far as I was allowed, as far as I could, given the limitations I was given. It is obviously clear that for things to change, for casting in movies to become more diverse, many forces must align. Not just the creative. To those who are offended by the decisions which were made, I have already apologized. I respect their opinion, but I hope the context of the decisions is a little clearer based on my statements here." 8. After the film was critically panned, Proyas said, "I guess I have the knack of rubbing reviewers the wrong way. This time of course they have bigger axes to grind, they can rip into my movie while trying to make their mainly pale asses look so politically correct by screaming whitewash." 31. Release. Marketing. Lionsgate spent an estimated $30 million on marketing the film. It released a set of character posters in November 2015 for which it received backlash due to white actors playing Egyptian characters, as noted above. Later in the month, it released a theatrical trailer. 22 Lionsgate aired a 60-second spot for Gods of Egypt during the pre-game show of the Super Bowl 50 on February 7, 2016. 32 Though they released the trailer online a day earlier. 33. In the week before the film's release, Lions released the tie-in mobile game Gods of Egypt, Secrets of the Lost Kingdom on iOS and Android. 34. Box office forecast. Box office forecast 2 months in advance that Gods of Egypt would gross $14.5 million on its opening weekend in the United States and Canada, and that it would gross $34 million total on its theatrical run. The magazine said the film had a strong ensemble cast and that its director has had a noteworthy following. Box Office also said the premise could attract moviegoers who saw Clash of the Titans, Wrath of the Titans, and the Percy Jackson films. Admissions to 3D screenings would help boost Gods of Egypt's gross. The magazine said factors negatively affecting the film's gross were a lackluster reaction to its marketing and the backlash to its predominantly white cast causing negative buzz. It anticipated that the film's release would be front-loaded, focused on profiting mainly from opening weekend, due to the poor buzz, its categorization as a fantasy film, and with London has fallen opening the following weekend. 35. A week before the film's release, The Wrap's Todd Cunningham reported an updated forecast of $15 million for its opening weekend in the United States and Canada. For The Hollywood Reporter's Pamela McClintock said it was tracking to gross between $12 million and $15 million. 36 Cunningham said the expected gross was low for the film's triple-digit budget as well as additional marketing costs. He said the film could attract Alex Proyas's fan base but that it had suffered some negativity out there due to the predominantly white casting as well as the film being perceived to have an old-fashioned feel. Exhibitor Relations senior media analyst Jeff Bach said the film feels late years after the release of 300, 2007, and Immortals, 2011, and an earlier production and release would have been more advantageous. Cunningham said with Lionsgate's financial exposure only being $10 million and the expected opening gross, the film could gross between $40 million and $50 million for its theatrical run in the United States and Canada and ultimately avoid a loss. For The Hollywood Reporter's McClintock said ancient epics in recent years had not performed well at the box office, citing the 2014 films Hercules, The Legend of Hercules, and Pompeii. 36. Ryan Fonder of the Los Angeles Times said in the week before the film's release that the expected opening weekend gross meant that Lionsgate's plans to make Gods of Egypt the first film in a new franchise were unlikely. Fonder said the film would need to perform strongly in territories outside the United States and Canada for a sequel to be developed. 37 Variety's Brent Lang reported that analysts said the film would need to open to $30 million or more in the United States to justify a sequel. 38. Home media. The film was released on May 31, 2016, on DVD, Blu-ray and Ultra HD Blu-ray by Lionsgate Home Entertainment. 39. Reception. Box office. Gods of Egypt grossed $31.2 million in the United States and Canada, and $119.6 million in other countries, for a worldwide total of $150.7 million against a production budget of $140 million, with Lionsgate losing up to $90 million on the film when factoring together all expenses and revenues, according to The Hollywood Reporter. 40 In August 2024, over 8 years after its release, Deadline Hollywood reported the film had finally managed to break even following its 5th and 6th home release windows. 41. Lionsgate released Gods of Egypt in theaters globally starting on February 25, 2016. 3. It was released in 2D, Real D 3D 42 and IMAX 3D. 43 Lionsgate released the film in the United States and Canada on the weekend of February 26 to 28, as well as in 68 other markets, 44 and B3 including Russia, South Korea, and Brazil. 38 Jaguar Films released the film in the United Arab Emirates, February 25, and other countries in the Middle East under the title Kings of Egypt. 47 Viacom 18 Motion Pictures released the film in India on February 26, 2016 in 4 languages, English, Hindi, Tamil, and Telugu, while 9ERS Entertainment released the film in South Korea on March 3. 48. In the United States and Canada, the film was released in 3,117 theaters. It grossed an estimated $800,000 in Thursday night previews and $4.8 million on Friday, lowering the projected weekend gross to $11 to $13 million. 49. It went on to gross $14.1 million in its opening weekend, finishing second at the box office behind Deadpool, $31.5 million. 50. It competed with fellow newcomers Eddie the Eagle and 999, as well as with Deadpool, which opened 2 weekends earlier. 51. Opening day audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B on an A+ to F scale. 50. The Christian Science Monitor's Molly Driscoll said The Gods of Egypt's US release was during a traditionally quiet time at the box office. 52. Scott Mendelson of Forbes commented on supporting versus opposing a successful debut of the film, as it's an example of a great wrong in modern Hollywood, whitewashing, while existing as a great right, an original fantasy from a gifted and visionary director, at the same time. 53. Outside North America, the film got a staggered release. In its opening weekend, it was number 1 across Central America, Eastern Europe, and Southeast Asia. 54 top openings were in Russia, $4.3 million, Brazil, $1.9 million, and Philippines, $1.7 million. 1. LE Vision Pictures acquired rights from Lionsgate in November 2015 to distribute Gods of Egypt in China 55 and released the film there on March 11, 2016. 44. China was the film's largest territory, with $35.6 million. 56. Entertainment One also released the film in the United Kingdom on June 17, 2016. 57. Critical response. Gods of Egypt received negative reviews from critics. 58. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 15% based on 193 reviews, with an average rating of 3.7/10. 59. Metacritic gives the film a score of 25 out of 100 based on 25 critics, indicating generally unfavorable reviews. 60. Alonso Durald of The Rap wrote, "A mishmash of unconvincing visual effects and clumsy writing, not to mention another depiction of ancient Egypt in which the lead roles are almost all played by white folks. Gods of Egypt might have merited a so bad it's good schadenfreude fan base had it maintained the unintentional laughs of its first 10 minutes. Instead, it skids into dullness, thus negating the camp classic that it so often verges on becoming." 61. Jocelyn Novak of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film a half-star out of 4, writing, "It's obvious the filmmakers were gunning for a sequel here. But this bloated enterprise is so tiresome by the end, it seems more likely headed for a long rest somewhere in the cinematic afterlife." 62. Ignatiy Vishnevetsky of the AV Club called Gods of Egypt overlong and very silly, and said, "A treasure trove of gilded fantasy bric-a-brac and clashing accents, Proya sword and sandals space opera is a head above the likes of Wrath of the Titans, but it rapidly devolves into a tedious and repetitive succession of monster chases, booby traps, and temples that start to crumble at the last minute." 63. Jordan Hoffman of The Guardian said, "This is ridiculous. This is offensive. This shouldn't be, and I'm not going to say otherwise if you can't bring yourself to buy a ticket for this movie. But if you are on the fence, you can always offset your karmic footprint with a donation to a charity, because this movie is a tremendous amount of fun." 64. Ollie Richards of Empire was heavily critical, calling the film a catastrophe and the Dolly Parton of movies, without any of the knowing wit. 65. In response to the reviews, director Proyas posted to Facebook calling critics diseased vultures pecking at the bones of a dying carcass, who were trying to peck to the rhythm of the consensus. I applaud any film goer who values their own opinion enough to not base it on what the pack mentality says is good or bad. 66. Accolades. Award category nominee, S. Result. IACTA Awards. 6th. Best Original Music Score Marco Beltrami nominated. Best Sound Wayne Pashley, Peter Grace, Darren Pasquill, Fabian Zanjurjo, Greg P. Fitzgerald and Peter Purcell nominated. Best Costume Design Liz Palmer nominated. Best Visual Effects or Animation Eric Durst, Jack Geist, Andrew Helen, James Whitlam, and Julian Dimsey nominated. Best Hair and Makeup Leslie Vanderwalt, Laura Jade Birch and Adam Johansson nominated. Golden Raspberry Awards Worst Picture Alex Proyas and Basil Iwanek nominated. Worst Director Alex Proyas nominated. Worst Actor Gerard Butler nominated. Worst Screen Combo Any Two Egyptian Gods or Mortals nominated. Worst Screenplay Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless nominated. Houston Film Critics Society Worst Film Basil Iwanek and Alex Proyas nominated. See also: Horus Conflict between Horus and Set. List of fantasy films of the 2010s. List of biggest box office bombs. Whitewashing in film. Notes. The Union Media Entertainment and Arts Alliance filed an objection with Australia's Fair Work Commission stating that the film would adopt unfair work conditions. The union contested the production being Australian enough to receive a 40% producer rebate, yet importing work conditions substandard for Australia. 13. Filmmakers for Gods of Egypt had already set their cast and had completed filming when backlash occurred over the casting practice for Exodus, Gods and Kings. 18. Lionsgate initially scheduled the film to be released in the United States on February 12, 2016 45, then it postponed the release to April 8, 2016, before finalizing the date to February 26, 2016. Brenton Thwaites, born August 10, 1989, is an Australian actor. Beginning his career in his home country in 2011, he had a starring role on the series Slide and later appeared on the soap opera Home and Away. Since moving to the United States, Thwaites has had major roles in the films Blue Lagoon, The Awakening, 2012, Oculus, 2013, The Giver, 2014, Gods of Egypt, 2016, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, 2017. He starred as Dick Grayson/Robin/Nightwing in the DC Universe/HBO Max series Titans from 2018 to 2023. Early life. Thwaites was born in Cairns, Queensland. 2. He has a sister. He graduated from Cairns State High School in 2006. 2. During his youth, Thwaites was drawn to the idea of becoming a policeman or a firefighter, having been interested in movies involving the latter. However, his interests changed to filmmaking and letting one's personality shine through so many different characters. At the age of 16, Thwaites gave his first performance in front of a live audience in Romeo and Juliet. 3. Thwaites studied acting at the Queensland University of Technology, QUT, for 3 years, before graduating in 2010. 4, 5, 6. He then relocated to Sydney to join the long-running soap opera Home and Away before moving to the United States in 2011/12 to pursue his career in acting. 7, 8, 9. Career. 2010 to 2011, early career. Prior to graduating from Queensland University of Technology in Brisbane, Thwaites made his film debut in Charge Over You, a 2010 independent film. 10. After he graduated, Thwaites appeared in an episode of Sea Patrol and in the short film Headsman. 11, 12. In November 2010, Thwaites was cast in a new Fox 8 Australian teen drama series, Slide. 13-14 The show follows 5 Brisbane teenagers making their way to adulthood. 14-15 Thwaites believes his character, Luke Gallagher, stands back a bit. He watches. He's struggling with family issues. He's drawn in as it was a chance to find better friends and an opportunity to be part of a group. He's a cool, accepted kid. Some friends he can love and help him mature. 11. Thwaites made his first appearance on Slide in the series premiere episode on August 16, 2011. The series ran 1 season. 14. Shortly after Thwaites moved to Sydney in April 2011, he was given a 5-month recurring role of Stu Henderson in the 24th season of Home and Away. 6-8 Thwaites called the show a great learning experience and said his co-stars were easy to work with. 9 Thwaites made his first appearance as Stu, a member of the River Boys, on August 23, 2011. 8 Tristan Swanwick of the Courier Mail said Thwaites was a bit too pretty to be a badass river boy, but that some fake tattoos would balance that impression. 6 Of his character, Thwaites said, "Stu's awesome, he has some fights, he gets the girls, it's awesome fun." 6-16. 2012 to 2016, film roles and continued success. Following Thwaites' relocation to the United States, he signed on to play the male lead in the 2012 television film Blue Lagoon, The Awakening opposite Indiana Evans. 17 The film received generally mixed reviews, with Zap2it praising both Thwaites and Evans, mostly believable acting. 18 and the New York Times saying their performances were superior to those of the leads in the first film of the series. 19. Thwaites at the premiere of Oculus, Toronto Film Festival, September 8, 2013. In 2013, Thwaites starred in the psychological/supernatural horror film Oculus as the male lead Tim Russell. Production on the film began in October 2012 in Alabama, and was completed a few weeks later. 20 The film was first released on September 5, 2013, at the 2013 Toronto International Film Festival 21 and received a worldwide theatrical release on April 11, 2014. 22 His performance as Russell was well received by IndieWire, which claimed that Thwaites maintained a credibly frightened demeanor throughout the film. 23. In 2014, Thwaites briefly returned to Australia for the filming of crime thriller Son of a Gun. Primarily shot in Perth, Kalgoorlie, and Melbourne. 24 Thwaites had to audition for the part of JR up to 10 times before landing the role. Regarding his character, Thwaites said, "I jumped at the opportunity to audition when this came up, and I found the character was a very vulnerable kid amongst strange men that are in some way an inspiration. I just thought that was interesting as a young man myself." 25. Thwaites received critical acclaim for his portrayal of JR, with Variety contending that he makes a suitably keen-eyed, clean-scrubbed lead, retaining a kind of porous naivete even as the character gets his blood up. 26 And the Sydney Morning Herald praising his role as the embattled hero of the plot. 27 The film premiered in Australia on October 16, 2014. 28. Thwaites in 2014. In 2014, Thwaites appeared in Maleficent as Prince Philip. 29 A Maleficent sequel was released in 2019, but Harris Dickinson was recast in Thwaites' role as he was unable to return due to scheduling conflicts. 30 Additionally, he starred in The Signal as the male lead, Nick Eastman. The film opened at the Sundance Film Festival in January, 7 months after shooting on location in the desert of New Mexico. 31-32 Thwaites received praise in a review by The Plain Dealer that noted his performance in The Signal was as a compelling presence in the driver's seat as things get freakier and freakier around him. 33. Later in the year, Thwaites also had the lead role in The Giver, playing Jonas. 34 Primarily filmed in South Africa. 7 The film was met with generally mixed to negative reviews, with The Telegraph criticizing Thwaites' portrayal for he struggled to give us the layered, conflicted hero this film needed. 35. However, his portrayal was well received by the Huffington Post, who commended Thwaites' acting. 36. And by the Plain Dealer, which noted that the fast-rising Thwaites does a nice job with the lead role. 37. He was awarded the Australians in Film Breakthrough Award for his role in The Giver. 38. Thwaites starred in Gods of Egypt. He played Beck, a human thief. 39. Principal photography on the film began on March 20, 2014 at the Fox Studios in Sydney, Australia, and the film was released worldwide on February 26, 2016. 40. 2017, present, Pirates of the Caribbean and Titans. Thwaites starred in the fantasy-adventure sequel Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, which was released on May 26, 2017. 41, 42, 43, 44. Thwaites portrays Henry Turner, the son of franchise characters Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. 45, 46, 47. Shooting of the film commenced in February 2015, on the Gold Coast of Queensland, Australia. 48, 49. Following Pirates, Thwaites had a leading role in the 2017 Christian film, An Interview with God, portraying a young journalist, Paul Asher. 50. Thwaites was then cast as Dick Grayson/Robin in the DC Universe series Titans. 51, which began airing in 2018. Personal life. Thwaites has been in a relationship with Chloe Pacey since 2015. 52, 53. After they both lived in the same share house in Australia while Thwaites was filming Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. 54. After a stint in Los Angeles, Thwaites returned to Queensland. 55. Thwaites and Pacey became engaged on July 26, 2023. The couple have 5 children. Nicolaj William Coster-Waldau, NEKOLJKSTVLTW, born on July 27, 1970, is a Danish actor. He had his breakthrough role in Denmark with the film Night Watch in 1994. He played Jaime Lannister in the HBO fantasy drama series Game of Thrones, for which he received 2 Primetime Emmy Award nominations for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series. Coster-Waldau has appeared in numerous films in his native Denmark, other Scandinavian countries, and the US. These include Headhunters, 2011, and 8,000 Times Good Night, 2013. In the US, his debut film role was in the war film Black Hawk Down, 2001, playing Medal of Honor recipient Message Gary Gordon. He then played a detective in the short-lived Fox television series New Amsterdam, 2008, and appeared in the 2009 Fox television film Virtuality, originally intended as a pilot. As of 2021, Coster-Waldau is a UNDP Goodwill Ambassador, drawing public attention to issues such as gender equality and climate change. Early life and education. Nicolaj William Coster-Waldau citation needed was born on July 27, 1971 in Rudkøbing, Denmark, the son of Hans Sabort Koster, d. 2023, 2 a librarian 3 and Jürgen Oscar Fritzer Waldau, died 1998, a clerk. 2 He has spoken in interviews about his father's problems with alcohol, as well as his parents' divorce. 3 He has 2 older sisters, and was raised mainly by his mother, who was a librarian. 4 He grew up in Tibjerg, a small village between Ringsted and Nesbit in southern Zealand. 4 Coster-Waldau attended the Danish National School of Performing Arts in Copenhagen, Danish, Statens Teaterskole, from 1989 to 1993. 15 Career. Early career, 1993 to 2000. Coster-Waldau made his stage debut as Laertes in Hamlet at the Betty Nansen Theatre. 1 His role in the Danish horror film Night Watch, Nattevagten, 1994, brought him fame in Denmark. 6 He then went on to play in Simon Stål's Wildside, 1998, which he also co-wrote, and starred in Danish films such as Misery Harbor, 1999. 7 He starred in his first British film Bent, in 1997. 8. U.S. Film and Television, 2001 to 2010. Coster-Waldau at the 2011 San Diego Comic-Con. In 2001, he began his U.S. career in Ridley Scott's Black Hawk Down as Medal of Honor recipient Gary Gordon. Coster-Waldau says, "My first U.S. movie was Black Hawk Down, and a friend helped me put myself on tape up on the attic over my apartment in Copenhagen. We shipped it out and I got lucky." 9. Coster-Waldau used his success to take roles on both sides of the Atlantic, particularly his native Scandinavia. 10. He had a leading role in Michael Apted's Enigma and played a villain in the action film My Name is Modesty, based upon the Modesty Blaze comic strip. Scott brought Coster-Waldau back for the 2005 film Kingdom of Heaven. Richard Loncron cast Coster-Waldau for Wimbledon and Firewall. 6. In 2007, he played John Amsterdam, an immortal New York homicide detective who becomes mortal after finding true love, in the short-lived Fox television series New Amsterdam. 11. As a result of filming that series pilot, Coster-Waldau obtained his Screen Actors Guild card. He later recalled in a 2015 interview in TV Guide, "Finally getting my SAG card was huge for me. I got so excited I went straight to the SAG online shop and bought 4 mugs with SAG logo. I still have those mugs." 12. Critical success, 2011, present. Coster-Waldau at the premiere of the 3rd season of Game of Thrones in March 2013. From 2011 to 2019, Coster-Waldau played Jaime Lannister in the HBO series Game of Thrones, based on George R.R. Martin's fantasy novel series A Song of Ice and Fire. He commented about the character, "What's not to like about Jaime? As an actor, I couldn't ask for a better role." 9. For his role, he received several accolades, including nominations for Primetime Emmy Award, Screen Actors Guild Award, Critics' Choice Television Award 13, Saturn Award 14, and People's Choice Award nominations. 15. In 2011, he starred alongside Sam Shepard in Mateo Gil's feature Blackthorn, which premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival. 16. Later the same year he starred in Morten Tyldum's Headhunters. The film went on to be the highest-grossing Norwegian film of all time. 17. And received very positive reviews, including a BAFTA Award nomination for Best Foreign Film. 18. Coster-Waldau starred in the 2013 horror film Mama alongside Jessica Chastain, which then debuted at number 1 in the US box office. 19. And grossed over $140 million worldwide. 20. He went on to play Sykes, a military weapons expert in the science fiction action thriller film Oblivion. 21. That same year, he co-starred with Juliette Binoche in Eric Poppy's drama A Thousand Times Good Night. 22. In 2014, he starred in Susanne Bier's Danish thriller A Second Chance as Andreas, a police officer forced to make a difficult choice. 23. In 2016, Coster-Waldau appeared in the action fantasy film Gods of Egypt as Horus. 24. In early 2017, he starred in E.L. Katz's dark comedy Small Crimes. 25, which premiered at South by Southwest Film Festival on 11 March 2017. 26 to positive reviews. 27. Coster-Waldau then appeared in the Danish film Three Things, a thriller about a prime suspect of a bank robbery who negotiates the terms of his witness protection deal. 28. 29. He starred in Roman Waugh's prison film Shot Caller, which premiered at the Los Angeles Film Festival on June 16, 2017. 30. 31. Since January 2018 he has been the L'Oréal Paris global spokesperson for the company's Men Expert line of products. 32. In May 2017, it was announced that he starred in Brian De Palma's film Domino. 33. The film was released on May 31, 2019. 34. Later the same year he starred in Suicide Tourist by Jonas Alexander Arnby, which premiered at the Zurich Film Festival. 35. 36. That same year, Coster-Waldau launched a production company named Il Kippers. 37. Coster-Waldau at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con. He starred in the 2020 thriller The Silencing, directed by Robin Prant. 3839. He filmed in secret the movie The Day We Died, Kruttenden, by Ole Christian Madsen. The film is based on events surrounding the 2015 Copenhagen shootings and was originally slated for release for late 2019. 40. It was released in Europe on May 3, 2020. 41. On January 7, 2021, Variety announced that Samuel Goldwyn Films had purchased U.S. distribution rights for the film. 42. Coster Waldau was to have played Macbeth in 2020, in a production of Shakespeare's tragedy, reuniting with Matt Shockman at the Geffen Playhouse. 43. On April 15, 2020, the Geffen Playhouse announced on its blog that its production of Macbeth, among others, had been postponed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. 44. In November 2023, Coster Waldau was announced to portray William the Conqueror in King and Conqueror. 45. He also served as an executive producer on the series, and also directed one episode. 46. King and Conqueror debuted on BBC One and BBC iPlayer on 24 August 2025. 47. And has been sold worldwide. 48. Other activities. Coster Waldau has supported the Danish Red Cross since 2003. 49. 50-51. In 2016, he announced a Game of Thrones campaign contest in order to support the Red Foundation, which aims to raise awareness and fight AIDS. 52. My main mission as UNDP Goodwill Ambassador will be to raise awareness and support for the global goals for a better future for all, which cannot be achieved without empowering women and protecting our planet. Coster Waldau on his mission as UNDP Goodwill Ambassador in 2016. 53. Since September 2016, he has been serving as a UNDP Goodwill Ambassador to raise awareness and support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, an action to end poverty, fight inequality, and stop climate change. 53. In 2017, Coster Waldau partnered with Google, using Street View to document the impact of global warming in Greenland, in order to increase awareness and highlight climate change. 54. After participating in a female empowerment initiative in Kenya, on the occasion of International Women's Day in 2017, he wrote a pledge calling for all fathers to support gender equality and women's empowerment, including those women who live in extreme poverty and are exposed to practices like child marriage. 55. In September 2017, he was one of the speakers in the Spotlight Initiative, a European Union United Nations action to eliminate violence against women and girls. 56. After kicking off the Women's Amateur World Cup. 57. In October 2017, he traveled to the Maldives to report global warming effects, resuming his role as a United Nations Development Program Goodwill Ambassador. 58. 59. 60. In early 2018, he and several other Danish artists signed a manifesto demanding zero tolerance for sexism, sexual harassment, and sexual assault in the Danish film and stage arts industry. 61. In June 2018, he kicked off the Lions Share Fund's launch, an action in which when an advertising campaign uses an image of an animal, the advertiser will donate 0.5% of the paid media spending of that campaign to the fund. 62. In 2019, he traveled to Rwanda to report the progress of the country, and to Peruvian Amazonia on occasion of the Amazon rainforest wildfires to offer insights into the effects of climate change. 63. 64. In 2024 he hosted the documentary series An Optimist's Guide to the Planet, profiling innovative new solutions to climate change. 65. Personal life. Coster Waldau with his wife Nakaka in 2022. Although Coster Waldau is not religious, he was baptized and confirmed as a Lutheran in the Danish National Church during his youth, like the vast majority of Danes, and viewed his confirmation as a big moment in his life when he first identified as becoming an adult. 66. He married Nakaka, a Greenlandic actress and singer, in 1997, and they live in Copenhagen with their 2 daughters 67, 68, 69, 70 Philippa and Safina, as well as 2 dogs. 71 Their daughter Philippa starred in a Danish short film, The Girl and the Dogs, which was shown at the Cannes Film Festival in 2014. 72-73 and as the lead character in 2025 internationally produced TV drama series Smallest Sense of Snow. 74-75 Their other daughter, Safina, starred as the main character Simone in the Danish Christmas TV series Theo og den Magiske Talisman in December 2018. Citation needed. His father-in-law is Joseph Moesfeldt, a member of the Parliament of Greenland and former leader of the Community of the People Party, Inuit Ataqatigiit. 76. Although his father was a supporter of Arsenal, a trip to a match at the Elland Road ground in the early 1990s persuaded him to become a supporter of Leeds United, and he is a member of the Leeds United Supporters Trust. 77 He published a very emotional video to thank Marcelo Bielsa, Leeds head coach in 2020, when the team was finally promoted to the Premier League again after 16 years. Chadwick Aaron Boseman, /Bojm/2 November 29, 1976 to August 28, 2020, was an American actor and playwright. 345 Through his 2-decade career, he appeared in a number of projects spanning both blockbuster and independent films, and received various accolades, including a Golden Globe Award, a Screen Actors Guild Award, and a Primetime Emmy Award, in addition to nominations for an Academy Award and a BAFTA Award. Born in South Carolina, Boseman studied directing at Howard University and began his career in theater. Boseman won a Drama League Directing Fellowship and an Acting Audelco, along with receiving a Jeff Award nomination for his 2005 play Deep Azure. Transitioning to the screen, his first major role was as a series regular on the NBC drama Persons Unknown, 2010, and he landed his breakthrough role as baseball player Jackie Robinson in 42, 2013. He continued to portray historical figures, starring as singer James Brown in Get On Up, 2014, and as Thurgood Marshall in Marshall, 2017. Boseman achieved international fame for playing the Marvel Comics superhero T'Challa, Black Panther, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, from 2016 to 2019. He appeared in 4 MCU films, including an eponymous 2018 film. As the first black actor to headline an MCU film, he was also named in the 2018 Time 100. Boseman's final performance as the character in the Disney Plus anthology series What If? 2021, earned him a posthumous Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Character Voice-Over Performance. In 2016, Boseman was diagnosed with colon cancer. He kept his condition private, continuing to act until his death from the illness in 2020. For his final film role, the drama Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, 2020, he received the Golden Globe and SAG Awards for Best Actor, along with a posthumous nomination for the Oscar in the same category. Life and career. Early years and education. Chadwick Aaron Boseman 6'7" was born and raised in Anderson, South Carolina 8-9-10, the son of Carolyn, née Mattress, 11-12 and Leroy Boseman, both African American. 13 His mother was a nurse, and his father worked at a textile factory and managed an upholstery business. 14 In his youth, Boseman practiced martial arts. 15 and continued this training as an adult. 16 As a child, he wanted to become an architect. 17 According to Boseman, DNA testing indicated that some of his ancestors were Jola people from Guinea-Bissau, 18 Cryo people and Limba people from Sierra Leone, and Yoruba people from Nigeria. 19. Boseman graduated from T. L. Hanna High School in 1995, where he played on the basketball team. 2021 In his junior year, he wrote his first play, Crossroads, and staged it at the school after a classmate was shot and killed. 14 He competed in speech and debate in the National Speech and Debate Association at T. L. Hanna. He placed 8th in original oratory at the 1995 national tournament. 22 He was recruited to play basketball at college but chose the arts instead. 23 Attending college at Howard University in Washington, D.C., and graduating in 2000 with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Directing. 24 While at Howard, he worked in an African-American-oriented bookstore near the university, which friend Vanessa German said was important and inspirational to him. 15 He drew on his experience there for his play Hieroglyphic Graffiti. 25 His teachers at Howard included Al Freeman Jr. and Felicia Rashad, who became a mentor. 25 14 Rashad helped raise funds, notably from her friend and prominent actor Denzel Washington. 7 So that Boseman and other classmates could attend the Oxford summer program of the British American Drama Academy at Balliol College, Oxford, in England, to which they had been accepted. 14 26 Boseman wanted to write and direct, and initially began studying acting to learn how to relate to actors. 27 He attended the program in 1998, and he developed an appreciation for the playwriting of William Shakespeare. 15 Additionally, he studied the works of various dramatists, including Samuel Beckett and Harold Pinter. 25 He also traveled to Africa for the first time while at college, working in Ghana with his professor Mike Malone to preserve and celebrate rituals with performances on a proscenium stage. He said it was one of the most significant learning experiences of his life. 28 After he returned to the U.S., he took additional coursework in film studies, graduating from New York City's Digital Film Academy. 29 30 2000 to 2007, theater, Deep Azure, and early television. Boseman lived in Brooklyn, New York City, at the start of his career. 14 In 2000, he was named a Drama League Directing Fellow. He directed productions including George C. Wolfe's The Colored Museum. 2331, Wolfe would later direct Boseman in his final role, 32, and a staging of Amory Baraka's Dutchman. 23 He worked as the drama instructor in the Schomburg Junior Scholars Program, housed at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture in Harlem between 2002 and 2009. 633 He rose to prominence as a playwright and stage actor in 2002, performing in multiple productions and winning an Audelco Award in 2002 for his part in Ron Milner's Urban Transitions. 23 As a member of the National Shakespeare Company of New York, he played Romeo in Romeo and Juliet and Malcolm in Macbeth. 34 He directed and wrote plays. 35-36 As part of the hip-hop theater movement, his works included Rhyme Deferred, co-written with Howard classmate Camilla Forbes, in which he also performed, and Hieroglyphic Graffiti. 23 37 38 39 Rhyme Deferred was commissioned for a national tour, as well as featuring in the Fire This Time anthology of works, while Hieroglyphic Graffiti was produced at a variety of locations, including the National Black Theater Festival in 2001. 23 Combining modern African American culture and Egyptian deities, it is set in Washington, D.C., and was picked up by the New York Hip Hop Theater Festival and Tennessee State University's Summer Stock Theater program in 2002. 40 It was also the Kunta Repertory Theater's 2002-03 season launch production. At the 2002 Hip Hop Theater Festival, Boseman also gave a one-man show called Red Clay and Carved Concrete. 34 In 2003, Boseman was cast in his first television role, an episode of Third Watch 41, and began playing Reggie Montgomery in the daytime soap opera All My Children. 42 He was fired from All My Children after voicing concerns to producers about racist stereotypes in the script. The role was subsequently recast, with Boseman's future Black Panther co-star Michael B. Jordan taking the part. 43-44 Boseman had wanted to work around the stereotypes of the character, feeling that being in a soap opera would give him more room for improvisation, as the writers often do not initially plan a full story. 45 His then future agent said that when Boseman was given the second script and learned that his character's parents were a drug addict and an absent father, Boseman confronted the creators. 44 He reflected on the experience in his 2018 commencement address to Howard University, saying that it seemed to be wrapped up in assumptions about us as black folks and he would have to make something out of nothing. 45. His other early television work included episodes of the series Law and Order, Cold Case, CSI, New York, and ER. 6. Boseman's best-known play, Deep Azure, was commissioned in 2004 by the Congo Square Theatre Company in Chicago. It was nominated for a 2006 Jeff Award for Best New Work. 3723 Boseman said at the time that Deep Azure was a fusion and progression of his previous plays, which he did not feel fit wholly in the hip-hop theater genre. 23 The play, about police brutality, a daring subject in 2004, and largely delivered in rhyme, was workshopped at the Apollo Theater in New York. 4647 Drama critic Chris Jones in the Chicago Tribune highly praised the work. 46 In 2008, Boseman turned Deep Azure into a screenplay. Michael Green, who would become his agent, picked it up and contacted Boseman when Tessa Thompson and Omari Hardwick expressed an interest in playing the lead roles, prompting Boseman's move to Los Angeles. 44 He also directed, wrote, and produced the short film Blood Over a Broken Pawn in 2007, which was honored at the 2008 Hollywood Black Film Festival. 3748. 2008 to 2015, breakthrough with 42 and Get On Up. In 2008, Boseman moved to Los Angeles to pursue his film and acting career. 26 He was cast in a recurring role on the television series Lincoln Heights as Nathaniel Ray Taylor, an Army veteran with PTSD who was later revealed to be the son of the main character before re-enlisting. 49 He also appeared in his first feature film in 2008, The Express, The Ernie Davis Story, as running back Floyd Little. 50 He landed his first regular role in the 2010 television series Persons Unknown as the Marine Graham McNair. 51 The show received mediocre reviews that felt the characters were all archetypes with little development. 52-53 In July 2013, Boseman's second short film as director, Heaven, premiered at the Holly Shorts Film Festival. 54. Boseman reflects on his role as Jackie Robinson in the biopic 42 in the State Dining Room, April 2013. Boseman's breakthrough role came in 2013 with the film 42, in which he portrayed the lead role of baseball legend Jackie Robinson. 50-55 Boseman had been directing an off-Broadway play in the East Village when he auditioned for the role 56 and was considering giving up acting to pursue directing full-time. 57 About 25 other actors had been seriously considered for the role, but director Brian Helgeland liked Boseman's bravery in choosing to read the most difficult scene, in which Robinson goes down a stadium tunnel and breaks a bat in anger, and cast him after he had auditioned twice. 58-24-59 Part of the audition process involved playing baseball. Boseman had been involved with Little League as a child but was primarily a basketball player growing up, saying that in this part the casting directors likely noticed his athleticism rather than specifically baseball skills. 56 Robinson's widow, Rachel Robinson, commented that Boseman's performance was like seeing her husband again. 38 To replicate Robinson's mannerisms, Boseman trained for 5 months with professional baseball coaches who would tape his practices every few weeks, and they would basically split-screen his technique with Robinson's to allow him to compare. 56 After having portrayed football player Little in The Express, Boseman was encouraged by stunt coordinator Alan Graff to approach running bases in the same way, as Robinson had also been a college football player. 59-60 Upon taking the role, Boseman first spoke with Rachel Robinson, which he said was of great help in discovering the character. 56 The same year, Boseman also starred in the independent film The Kill Hole, which was released in theaters a few weeks before 42. 61. President Barack Obama greets Boseman in the East Room, April 2013. Critics, even those who viewed the film negatively, felt that Boseman's being a relatively unknown actor was a benefit when playing an icon and an athlete. Mick LaSalle of San Francisco Chronicle wrote that as played by Chadwick Boseman, Robinson is a hero we can recognize. 62 And Mary Pauls for Time said that Boseman is not a hugely close physical match to Robinson, except for perhaps in the power he conveys, but he's a great choice to play the ball player. 63 The Guardian's Mike McCahill noted that Boseman hits his key scenes out of the park, but felt the film would not interest people who are not baseball fans. 64 With Dana Stevens of Slate suggesting that the film made Black history squeaky clean and did both Robinson and Boseman's performance as him a disservice. 65 4 Men on a Red Carpet. Boseman and others involved in Get On Up at the 2014 Deauville American Film Festival. In 2014, Boseman starred in another sporting film, Draft Day, as fictional football player Vontae Mack. 66-67 He had workshopped the Tupac Shakur jukebox musical Holler If Ya Hear Me in 2013, but did not continue to Broadway with it in order to take the role of James Brown in 2014's Get On Up. 23 As Brown, Boseman did some singing and all of his own dancing. 68 Working with choreographer Akomon Jones for 5 to 8 hours a day over 2 months in preparation. Producer Mick Jagger also directed him on interacting with audiences when performing live music. 69 He had not wanted to take a role in another biopic so soon after playing an icon in Robinson, saying he wasn't looking to do it again for another 15-20 years. 69 But was sought out as director Tate Taylor's only choice. 26 Co-star Dan Aykroyd, who had known Brown, praised Boseman's performance, saying that it was neither replication nor impression and that he did not have to squint sitting across from Boseman to imagine that he was talking to Brown. 69 Boseman also stayed in character between filming on set. Taylor said this was not a method acting approach, and more a necessity due to Boseman's holding his vocal cords unnaturally to imitate Brown's southern drawl. 26 His performance was praised as the highlight of a generally well-received movie, with the Rotten Tomatoes critical consensus reading, with an unforgettable Chadwick Boseman in the starring role. Get On Up offers the Godfather of Soul a fittingly dynamic homage. 70 Among the critics was Time's Richard Corliss, hyperbolically, 71 saying that Boseman deserves a Pulitzer, a Nobel, and instant election to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 72 Eulogizing Boseman, Donald Clark of the Irish Times said that Get On Up tested every weapon in the actor's arsenal and his performance confirmed that, like a star from Hollywood's golden age, Chadwick Boseman could do it all and do it all with style. 73 Boseman had sold a thriller screenplay to Universal Pictures in 2014, which he continued to collaborate on with creative partner Logan Coles and planned to star in, and told The Guardian that he still wanted to be a director but would explore his acting career first, adding that maybe it'll be easier if you're a successful actor. 2671 In 2016, he starred as Thoth, a deity from Egyptian mythology, in Gods of Egypt. 74 Boseman was one of the few actors of color featured in the film, which had drawn criticism for using a predominantly white cast to portray Egyptian characters. Agreeing with the criticism, Boseman said this had motivated him to accept the role, to ensure one of the film's African characters would be played by someone of African descent. 14 Boseman's own casting was criticized for falling under the magical Negro stereotype. The Independent reported that Boseman shook his head while telling GQ in an interview that people don't make $140 million movies starring black and brown people. 75 It was his first largely CGI film, and he expressed that he preferred acting alongside people than with blue screens and prop stand-ins. 71 The film was heavily criticized. Jordan Hoffman for The Guardian said that it lacks story or interesting characters, but Boseman makes for nice comic relief as the witty Thoth. 76 With Will Leach of The New Republic saying that his then upcoming Marvel Studios role may have to work to make you forget he was ever in this movie. 77 Perry Nemiroff for Collider said that Boseman shines as the only cast member who really seems to understand the movie he's in. 78 2016 to 2019, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marshall, and 21 Bridges. A man and woman sitting behind a panel desk, the man is laughing and the woman smiling. Boseman and Black Panther co-star Lupita Nyong'o at the 2017 San Diego Comic-Con. In 2016, Boseman began portraying the Marvel Comics character T'Challa/Black Panther in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Captain America: Civil War was his first film in a 5-picture deal with Marvel Entertainment. 79-80 He did not audition for the role, instead having a discussion about what Marvel wanted to do and how he saw it and what he wanted to do. 81. While working on Civil War, Boseman learned some Xhosa from John Kani, who played his father, and insisted on using the language for the character. 44 Boseman also developed a Wakandan accent himself, and used it during the entire production whether he was on camera or not. 82 When asked by journalist Ryan Gilbey if he felt pressure not to screw up the beloved comics character, Boseman responded by saying, "It's more positive than that. It's more like, seize it. Enjoy it." 83 He told the Associated Press, though, that he more identified with the Black Panther's nemesis, Killmonger, knowing that his roots to his African past had been severed. 28 Producer Kevin Feige explained that the Black Panther was included in Civil War because they needed a third party. It needed fresh eyes of a character who wasn't embedded with the Avengers and who has a very different point of view than either Tony or Steve. 84-85 Boseman's performance in Civil War was highly praised, though critics acknowledged the character's inclusion was largely to set up his upcoming headlining movie. 86 We know what it's like to be told there isn't a screen for you to be featured on, a stage for you to be featured on. We know what it's like to be beneath and not above. And that is what we went to work with every day. We knew that we could create a world that exemplified a world we wanted to see. We knew that we had something to give. Boseman accepting the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture in 2019. 28. Boseman returned as the Black Panther in Black Panther, 2018, 87 directed by Ryan Coogler 88 which focused on the character and his home country of Wakanda in Africa. The film opened to great anticipation, becoming one of the highest grossing films. The role earned Boseman a spot on the 2018 Time 100 as one of the world's most influential people, with Sean Combs writing his entry. 89 It is seen as a landmark in being the first mega-budget movie to have a predominantly black cast and director, as well as the first superhero film to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. 90 The film received universal acclaim and Boseman was praised. Matthew Norman for the Evening Standard said that he brings a measure of sub-Shakespearean gravitas to T'Challa's struggle to bear the weight of his crown. 91 Richard Lawson and Sight and Sound's Kelly Weston also noted the strength of gravitas Boseman gave to the performance. 92-93 Weston added that he, despite having the more thankless role out of T'Challa and Killmonger, carries the film with a quiet dignity one might rightfully expect of a man raised to be king. 93 Todd McCarthy and the Village Voice's Kristen Yoon-soo Kim saw that while Boseman played his serious character well, the cast was full of charismatic scene stealers. 94-95 Peter Traverse gave much praise to Boseman as the lead, and said that he digs so deep into T'Challa that you can feel his nerve endings. 96 LaSalle wrote that Boseman commands every moment of this film, radiating probity and purpose, and it's only later on that you realize that, with another actor, this wouldn't have been a sure thing. 97 He reprised the role in both Avengers, Infinity War and Avengers, Endgame, which were released in 2018 and 2019, respectively. Both films were the highest grossing of the year they were released, with Endgame going on to become the highest grossing film of all time. 98 Infinity War was filmed at the same time as Black Panther, and Boseman and other actors playing Wakandan characters improvised chanting scenes in the former that originated in the latter. 99 Boseman's last physical appearance as Black Panther was in Endgame, at Tony Stark's funeral. 28 He voiced alternate versions of T'Challa in the 2021 Disney Plus animated series What If? 101 Boseman portrayed Thurgood Marshall in the biographical film Marshall in 2017. Set years before he became the first African-American Supreme Court Justice, the movie focuses on one of Marshall's early cases, the trial of Joseph Spell. It was premiered at Howard University, which both Boseman and Marshall had attended. 102-103 Boseman was still worried about being put into a biopic box, and felt that he didn't look enough like the real Marshall. 104 but took the role because he enjoyed the script separate from the historical relevance. 105 he had expected big courtroom speeches but found that in the case Marshall was silenced by the judge and had to mentor white co-counsel Sam Friedman, Josh Gad, to take on his first criminal case. 106-107 he told the New York Times that he liked this element of the story because it doesn't allow you as an audience member, no matter what color you are, to hide from the issues. 108 Boseman researched Marshall extensively before portraying him, as well as studying videos of him speaking and losing muscle to reflect the younger Marshall's wiry frame. 105 The film opened to an average critical reception, though Boseman's performance was praised. 109-110 However, Vulture criticized his casting, noting that, unlike Boseman, the real-life Marshall was a light-skinned man, and his place on the color spectrum undoubtedly influenced how he became such a legend. 111 Boseman had been concerned about their differences before taking the role, but was convinced by the director and producer that as the film was telling an insular story it did not matter as much. 107 In 2019, he starred in 21 Bridges, an American action thriller film directed by Brian Kirk, as an NYPD detective who shuts down the eponymous 21 Bridges of Manhattan to find two suspected cop killers. He was approached to work on the film by two of its producers, Avengers directors the Russo brothers, at the Infinity War premiere. 112 While 21 Bridges was filming, the Russos and Boseman were working on Endgame. 113 Boseman was also a producer on 21 Bridges, something he said was made clear to him in his early conversations with the production team. 112 The three producers are given a nod in one of the film's opening lines, when a character is described as an Avenger. 114 All of the film's characters were originally conceived as male and white, with Boseman encouraging amendments to this and other parts of the story. 112 In his capacity as a producer, Boseman sought out Sienna Miller to be his co-star. Miller, who was intending to take a break from acting while her daughter was young, asked for a salary that the studio would not meet, and so Boseman donated the rest from his own pay. 115 He also personally called Stephen James to ask him to play one of the criminals Boseman's detective is hunting. The two actors had been planning to work more together after the film. 113 Boseman said that he and Coles fought for casting and for actors that brought particular sensibilities and feelings. 112 As an actor, Boseman developed his character by going on calls with the NYPD and LAPD. 116 Which he said influenced the writing after he fed back his experiences, and learning how to fire blanks and handle a gun with a police weapons specialist. 117 While the film received mixed reviews, the cast was praised. 118 Clarice Luffrey of The Independent wrote that the film was indelicate in its storytelling, but that Boseman finds a surprising amount to work with in such a basic, stock character. 119 While the Los Angeles Times said that Chadwick Boseman and thin characters cannot keep 21 Bridges from collapsing. 120 Glenn Kenny of RoachRebert.com was more positive towards the film, writing that it's no small feat to tie up an intelligent action thriller with such assuredness and that Boseman does a lot of running and driving and gun pointing and car hood slamming here, but his character also does a lot of thinking, and a lot of maneuvering. 121 2020, Da 5 Bloods and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. In 2019, Boseman was announced as part of the cast for the Netflix films Da 5 Bloods, directed by Spike Lee, and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, directed by George C. Wolfe. 122-123 He took these bucket list roles for opportunities to work with Lee and with Ma Rainey producer Denzel Washington, as well as the opportunity to perform in an August Wilson play, telling Entertainment Weekly that he wanted to make these non-superhero films because if you don't do the films that you plan to do, I think you wouldn't feel fulfilled as an artist. 123. He was also cast in a film telling the story of Yasuke, the only non-Asian samurai and the first black man in Japan, which he was set to co-produce. Boseman said, "The story is not just an action movie, it is a cultural event, an exchange, and I am excited to be part of it." 124. Time included Boseman on their list of the 10 best movie performances of 2020, for both Da 5 Bloods and Ma Rainey. 125. For Ma Rainey, Boseman received posthumous nominations in the Best Actor category at the Academy Awards, British Academy Film Awards, Golden Globe Awards, and Screen Actors Guild Awards. 126. Becoming the 8th person, and 7th man, to receive a posthumous Academy Award acting nomination. 127. Da 5 Bloods was released on June 12, 2020. 128. Lee, in choosing Boseman for the divine-like character of Stormin Norman, said, "This character is heroic, he's a superhero. Who do we cast? We cast Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and we cast T'Challa." 129. Reception of his character was mostly positive. For the Associated Press, Jocelyn Novak wrote that Boseman played Norman with movie star charisma and classic war movie grit. 130. And Empire's Campbell said his performance had regal charisma. 131. While Chuck Bowen of Slant said that he has a hauntingly gaunt presence, but he's already played too many saints. 132. The AV Club's Ashley Ray Harris felt the lack of digital de-aging for the other characters was unsuccessful in its aims and that Lee's script doesn't give Boseman much to do outside of this confused, Christ-like characterization and never exposes Norman's own naivete. 133. Conversely, Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian saw it as a reflection that he has grown, not old as those that are left grew old, and a way to show how Norman has been romanticized in his comrades' memories. 134. O.D. Henderson of RoachRebert.com had a similar view and said that Boseman was a perfect casting move, with the actor already carrying such a mythical status in black culture that he does not need to do much to be a believable mythical black icon as Norman. 135. For the songs, rituals, and folklore that were lost in slavery's middle passage, August Wilson's plays are those forgotten songs remixed for the struggles of adapting to these shores, in the similar way that Wilson's work was influenced by the blues of Bessie Smith, Muddy Waters, and W.C. Handy. My plays were infused with Tupac, Biggie, and Black Star. Boseman on August Wilson, 2013. 28. The film Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, in which Boseman co-stars as trumpeter Levy, was released after the actor's death in 2020. 136. Director Wolf said that Boseman was excited by the role for the challenge it posed, saying that it's a monster role and it's a thrilling role, it's a difficult role. All of those things are exhilarating for an actor. And Boseman rose to the occasion and more than delivered. 32. The film is based on the August Wilson play of the same name. Boseman was a fan of Wilson and wrote about him and his inspiration on Boseman's own work in a 2013 essay for the Los Angeles Times. 28. 123. According to Chris Jones, Boseman's Levy is an astonishing, revelatory performance and formidably distinct from the numerous interpretations seen on the stage. 136. A.O. Scott of the New York Times similarly opined that it will be hard, from now on, to imagine a Levy to compare with Boseman. 137. Angelica Jade Bastien for Vulture wrote at length on Boseman's performance, saying that many of the important turns in the film hinge on Boseman's presence at the center. In the first of his lachrymose monologues, Boseman is called to embody anger and gives the scene his all. 138. Charlotte O'Sullivan of the Evening Standard said Boseman was brave to take on a more curdled role than the heroic leaders he is best known for, and that as skillful as he was talented, he hits the right notes, all the time. 139. Clarice Luffrey wrote that it was the actor's finest performance, that when he rages against an unjust God, It strikes like thunder and is delivered with such grace that there's a sense he had another 100 performances like it still in him. 140. In 2022, Boseman posthumously won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Character Voiceover Performance for the What If? episode What If? T'Challa became a Star-Lord. At the 74th Primetime Emmy Awards. 141-142. Personal life. Family. Boseman began dating singer Taylor Simone Ledward in 2015. 143. The two reportedly got engaged by October 2019, and they later married in secret, as revealed by Boseman's family in a statement announcing his death. 144-143. Boseman was raised a Christian and was baptized. He was part of a church choir and youth group, and his former pastor said that he still kept his faith. 145. Boseman never had any children. 146. Philanthropy. Outside of performing, Boseman supported various charities. He worked with cancer charities including St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, continuing to support those battling the disease up until his own death from it. In a message to a producer days before he died, Boseman inquired about sending gifts to childhood cancer patients. 147. He donated $10,000 to the Boys and Girls Club of Harlem to provide free tickets for children who wanted to see Black Panther. Citation needed. He did this to support and promote the Black Panther Challenge started by a New Yorker to raise money for similar children across the country. In response, Disney donated $1 million to the Boys and Girls Clubs to advance its STEM programs. 148. Boseman advocated for children's charities, with the Jackie Robinson Foundation noting after his death that he helped with their youth outreach. When Disney planned to donate $400 million to charitable causes, Boseman encouraged the move. In April 2020, he donated $4.2 million in personal protective equipment to hospitals fighting the COVID-19 pandemic in Black communities, starting his own Operation 42 challenge to encourage others to donate PPE. 149-147. Advocacy. In politics, Boseman supported the When We All Vote campaign. Citation needed, and his last tweet before his death was congratulating Kamala Harris on her selection as Joe Biden's vice presidential nominee. 150. Prior to the 2018 midterm elections, Boseman urged Twitter followers to visit Vote Riders online or call the organization's helpline to ensure eligible voters had the ID needed to cast a ballot. 151. Illness and death. Boseman was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016. It progressed to stage 4 before 2020. 7. He never spoke publicly about his cancer diagnosis, and according to The Hollywood Reporter, only a handful of non-family members knew that Boseman was sick, with varying degrees of knowledge about the severity of his condition. 152. During treatment, involving multiple surgeries and chemotherapy, he continued to work and completed production for several films, including Marshall, Da 5 Bloods, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and others. Boseman died at his Los Angeles home as a result of complications related to colon cancer on August 28, 2020, with his wife and family by his side. 153, 154, 155. He was 43 years old. He died in state, and his estate was governed by California law with the representation of Ledward, his widow. 156. A public memorial service was held on September 4, 2020, in Anderson, South Carolina. Speakers included Boseman's childhood pastor as well as Deanna Brown Thomas, daughter of James Brown, whom Boseman portrayed in Get On Up. 157. The city announced plans for the creation of a permanent art memorial at the service. 158. Despite reports that Boseman was buried at Welfare Baptist Church Cemetery in nearby Belton, South Carolina. 159. The funeral home handling the services and the church pastor both denied this. 160. Response. Many fellow actors and other celebrities paid tribute to Boseman on social media following the announcement of his death, including a number of his Marvel Cinematic Universe co-stars. Marvel Studios president and CCO Kevin Feige called Boseman's death absolutely devastating, writing, "Each time he stepped on set, he radiated charisma and joy, and each time he appeared on screen, he created something truly indelible. Now he takes his place as an icon for the ages." 162. Co-stars from Boseman's other films also paid tribute to him. 163. His alma mater, Howard University, tweeted in reaction that his incredible talent will forever be immortalized through his characters and through his own personal journey from student to superhero. 164. On August 29, 2020, the day after Boseman died, the tweet in which his family announced his death on his Twitter account became the most liked tweet in history, with over 6 million likes in under 24 hours. 165, 166 and accumulating over 7 million by August 31, far displacing the previous record holder. 167. His death was likened to other unexpected deaths of other celebrities in 2020, particularly Kobe Bryant and Naya Rivera. 168. The Associated Press and Clarin noted Rivera and Boseman as Hollywood's most impactful 2020 deaths. 169. 170. Major League Baseball and the Los Angeles Dodgers, the franchise for which Jackie Robinson played when the team was at its former home of Brooklyn, New York, issued statements honoring Boseman, in light of his acclaimed portrayal of the player. 171. 172. Several publications noted Boseman died on the observance of Jackie Robinson Day, 7 years after his having portrayed Robinson. 173. 174. Prior to the fifth game between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trail Blazers in the NBA playoffs, Boseman was honored with a moment of silence, alongside Cliff Robinson and Lute Olson. 175. When Lewis Hamilton claimed pole position in qualifying at the 2020 Belgian Grand Prix, he dedicated his lap to Boseman, as well as his race win the following day. 176. Tributes. Wikinews has related news. Tributes paid to recently deceased U.S. actor Chadwick Boseman. On August 28, 2020, a Change.org petition was started, seeking to replace a Confederate monument in his hometown of Anderson with a statue of Boseman. It collected more than 50,000 signatures in less than a week, surpassing its original goal of 15,000 signatures. 177. Henry McMaster, the governor of South Carolina, ordered the state house flags be lowered to half-staff on August 30 in honor of Boseman, who was born and raised in the state. 178. ABC, which, like Marvel Entertainment, is owned by Disney, aired a commercial-free version of Black Panther, followed by a special about Boseman's life and work titled Chadwick Boseman, a tribute for a king on the same day. 179. 180. Also aired on August 30 was the 2020 MTV Video Music Awards. The ceremony was dedicated to Boseman. 181. On September 24, 2020, Disney unveiled a mural titled King Chad, by artist Nicholas Smith, dedicated to Boseman at Downtown Disney in Anaheim, California. 182. In February 2021, another mural dedicated to Boseman was painted at Trilith Studios in Fayetteville, Georgia, by artist Brandon Sadler. 183. 184. Following his Best Actor win at the Academy Awards in April 2021, Anthony Hopkins said, "I want to pay tribute to Chadwick Boseman, who was taken from us far too early." 185. Boseman is also memorialized in the 2020 video game Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales. The game includes an after-credits message dedicating it in memory of Boseman, as well as a street called Boseman Way on 42nd Street. The number 42 bears significance in the Miles Morales mythos, as well as referring to Boseman's portrayal of Jackie Robinson. A Wakandan flag also appears. 186 Amazon also made Black Panther comic titles available for free on its Comixology platform in the wake of Boseman's death. 188 On November 29, 2020, Marvel changed the studio's logo animation in the opening of Black Panther on Disney Plus to include images of Boseman from the film, as well as his appearances in Captain America, Civil War, Avengers, Infinity War, and Avengers, Endgame, to honor what would have been Boseman's 44th birthday. 189. In a 2020 tribute, Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther and its 2022 sequel, offered condolences to Boseman's family and said that he had spent the last year preparing, imagining, and writing words for him to say in the sequel that we weren't destined to see. Coogler and Marvel Studios executives were unaware of Boseman's illness until his death. 191 By the time of Boseman's death, Coogler was in the middle of writing the script and had already turned in a draft. 193 Also paying tribute, Feige confirmed that the role of T'Challa would not be recast. 194 Producer Nate Moore said that Boseman was such an integral part of that character for us, both as the character and as a person, that we could not conceive of a version with having someone else on set. 195. Co-writers Coogler and Joe Robert Cole reworked the script following Boseman's death. The sequel, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, 2022, depicts T'Challa's death from illness and Wakandans processing the resultant grief. The Marvel Studios opening, usually featuring other MCU characters, only depicts the faint sound of wind and images of Boseman. 196 T'Challa's sister Shuri, played by Letitia Wright, would eventually succeed him as Black Panther. Wright struggled with becoming Black Panther on the sequel as she felt bitter about how that had come to pass, and felt guilty for doing it. She credited Coogler and her co-star Danai Gurira for helping her with the transition. 198 The end credits featured the words "dedicated to our friend Chadwick Boseman," and The Independent described Wakanda Forever as a soulful Chadwick Boseman tribute. 199 Coogler said that while the film was a tribute to Boseman, it was also a tribute to the resilience of the cast to honor Boseman. 195. On April 8, 2025, Hannah Beachler revealed on her X page that the way the church in the film Sinners was designed included crossed beams which made the Wakanda Forever gesture and paid homage to Boseman. 201. Reputation and legacy. See also, Black Panther, film, analysis. According to film critic Owen Gleiberman of Variety, Boseman was a virtuoso actor who had the rare ability to create a character from the outside in and the inside out, and he knew how to fuse with the role, etching it in 3 dimensions. That's what made him an artist, and a movie star, too. Yet in Black Panther, he also became that rare thing, a culture hero. 202 Similarly, reviewer Richard Brody in The New Yorker finds the originality of Boseman's formidable acting technique in his ability to empathize with the interior lives of his characters and render them on screen as fully and completely belonging to the character. 203 He was uniquely able to capture and portray the dignity of his characters, according to the New York Times critic Wesley Morris. 204 Well known for taking biopic roles, Hannah Flint for the BBC said he became the frequent choice because of his dedication to embodying character. 17 Peter Bradshaw wrote of the actor's beauty, his grace, his style, his presence. These made up Chadwick Boseman's persona, and he became the lost prince of American cinema, glorious and inspirational. 205. Culture writer Steve Rose, in The Guardian, said that Boseman's career was revolutionary and he leaves behind a game-changing legacy, attributing this to the actor's careful planning and selection of roles. Eulogizing him, Rose wrote 206. Chadwick Boseman began his career playing African American icons and pioneers. He ends it as one himself. His achievements, as an actor and as a cultural force, will surely prove to be as heroic as those of the characters he portrayed. At the very least, he leaves the filmmaking landscape looking very different to how it was when he entered it. A cosplay of the Black Panther at FanimeCon 2018. As the Black Panther, Boseman led a predominantly black cast in a major blockbuster for the first time. 17 Variety said that the significance of Chadwick Boseman to the African American and black community is immeasurable. 207. Further expressing the weight of Boseman's legacy, Robert Daniels wrote for Vulture that his performance as T'Challa wouldn't just be a demonstration of craft, it'd become a piece of history. He'd face a slew of pressures, because a black epic, even a period piece, is forever expected to be important, representative of the past, present, and future. 208. He told BBC Culture that through his acting, Boseman wrote, rewrote, and reclaimed black history. 17 Boseman's Ma Rainey co-star Viola Davis told Rose that he is going to be remembered as a hero, both as the Black Panther and for the authentic man he was, and that his legacy, his body of work, his integrity, is going to influence on generations upon generations to come. 209. BBC Culture called him a film icon who changed Hollywood, a symbol of black excellence and of cinematic excellence, and a virtuoso and heroic figure, not just because of his iconic turn as Marvel's Black Panther but for how he raised the bar for racial equality and representation on screen. 17. Rhea Combs, film curator of the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture, said that with his screen presence, Boseman was not only a conduit to the past and the way African Americans persevered and pushed through so many challenges, he also represented brightness and the promise of tomorrow. 210. The BBC also noted his impact of infusing African authenticity into his work, including his motivations for taking a role in Gods of Egypt as well as how T'Challa is presented, saying that he connects African American audiences with their African heritage. 17. His alma mater, Howard University, renamed its College of Fine Arts in honor of Boseman on May 26, 2021. 211. On March 19, 2024, the Anderson School District 5 Board of Trustees, the school district in which Boseman attended, renamed the Performing Arts Center at Southwood Academy of the Arts in his honor. 212. The Harlem Globetrotters honored Boseman by selecting him as their draft pick. 213. X-Men 97, the revival of X-Men, the animated series, premiered on March 20, 2024, in Disney Plus but featured T'Chaka instead of T'Challa as the show's Black Panther despite Fantastic Four having previously established T'Challa as the current Black Panther. When asked about this continuity error on his Twitter account, showrunner Bo DeMaio stated that when developing the show's first season in early 2021, he and Marvel Studios felt it was too soon to feature T'Challa since Boseman's death, so they chose to put humanity before continuity by featuring T'Chaka instead. 214. For Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Marvel opted to not recast T'Challa. They instead had the character die off-screen at the beginning of the film. His sister Shuri, played by Letitia Wright, would later succeed him as Black Panther. The T'Challa/Black Panther variant of the What If? Episode What If? Zombies returns in the Marvel Zombies miniseries, but in a non-speaking role. Showrunner Brian Andrews and executive producer Brad Winderbaum attributed this decision to their wishes to respect Boseman by having Peter Parker/Spider-Man narrate those moments depicting T'Challa on screen so they can revisit his character in some strange way to be with him, while acknowledging that if Boseman were still alive, they would have taken completely different choices. They showed an early animatic to Black Panther, 2018, and Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, 2022, director Ryan Coogler to get his notes, who gave them some great ideas for the sequence that were really additive. Courtney Jane Eaton, born January 6, 1996, is an Australian actress. She began her career as a model before making her acting debut in the post-apocalyptic action film Mad Max, Fury Road, 2015. Eaton subsequently starred in the fantasy action film Gods of Egypt, 2016. Since 2021, she has appeared in the Showtime thriller drama series Yellow Jackets as young Lottie Matthews. She also starred in Parachute, 2023. Early life. Eaton was born on 6 January 1996 to 3 in Bunbury, Western Australia. For her father, Stephen Eaton, is a European-Australian IT consultant 5, while her mother is a New Zealander of Chinese, Cook Island, and Maori descent. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Eaton has a younger brother. 11 She attended Bunbury Cathedral Grammar School. 12, 13 Career. Eaton, second from right, with the cast and producers of Mad Max, Fury Road, 2015. Eaton was spotted by Christine Fox, head of Vivian's Models, in a fashion graduation at the age of 11. Fox signed up Eaton and prepared her to model at the age of 16. 13 Eaton took part in an acting workshop with Miles Pollard as part of her modeling development and auditioned in Sydney for Mad Max, Fury Road, 2015. She landed a part 14 and co-starred in the film as Cheeto the Fragile, one of the 5 wives of Immortan Joe in the film. 9 of her part, Eaton said that Fragile is the youngest of the 5 wives. 11. In December 2013, Eaton was cast in the fantasy action film Gods of Egypt, 2016, as Zaya, a slave girl and love interest of one of the main characters, Brenton Thwaites, appearing alongside Gerard Butler and Nicolaj Coster-Waldau, under Alex Proyas' direction. 15 In May 2016, it was announced that Eaton would be starring alongside Ross Lynch in the fantasy comedy film Status Update. 16 She starred alongside Aaron Eckhart in the action thriller Line of Duty, which was released in 2019. In December 2019, Eaton was cast in a recurring role as teenage Lottie in the American thriller drama television series Yellow Jackets. 17 She had originally auditioned for the role of Shauna, which went to Sophie Nélisse. 18 For the second season of the show, Eaton has been made a series regular. 19 In 2024, Eaton starred alongside Thomas Mann in the drama movie Parachute, which was the directorial debut of Brittany Snow. In April 2025, the author of the book Girl in Pieces, Kathleen Glasgow, confirmed that Eaton and her Yellow Jackets co-star Sophie Nélisse bought the film rights to the book. 2021. In September 2025, Eaton released her debut extended play, EP, Hush, distributed through DistroKid and produced by Tobias Jesso Jr. The 5-track record includes Growing Pains, which was featured over the end credits of Brittany Snow's 2023 directorial debut, Parachute 22. Personal life. Eaton lives in Los Angeles 23-24, having moved to the United States in 2015. 14 She dated footballer Callum Richardson from 2013 to 2015. 25-26 She dated her Status Update co-star Ross Lynch from 2015 to 2017. 13-27-28 Eaton also previously dated fellow actor Nicholas Galitzine and cinematographer Spencer Goodall. 29-30-31 She is a former vegan. Gods of Egypt is a 2016 fantasy action film directed by Alex Proyas based on a fantastical version of ancient Egyptian deities. It stars Nicolaj Coster-Waldau, Brenton Thwaites, Chadwick Boseman, Elodie Young, Courtney Eaton, Rufus Sewell, Gerard Butler, Jeffrey Rush, and Brian Brown. The film follows the Egyptian god Horus, who partners with a mortal Egyptian thief, on a quest to rescue his love and to save the world from Set. 5. Filming took place in Australia under the film production and distribution company Summit Entertainment in conjunction with Thunder Road Pictures and Proyas production company Mystery Clock Cinema. While the film's production budget was $140 million, the parent company Lionsgate's financial exposure was less than $10 million because of tax incentives and pre-sales. The Australian government provided a tax credit for 46% of the film's budget. When Lionsgate began promoting the film in November 2015, it received backlash for its predominantly white cast playing Egyptian deities. In response, Lionsgate and director Proyas apologized for their ethnically inaccurate casting. Lionsgate released Gods of Egypt in theaters globally, starting on February 25, 2016, in 2D, RealD 3D, and IMAX 3D, and in the United States, Canada, and 68 other markets on February 26. It received generally negative reviews from critics and grossed a total of $150.7 million against a $140 million budget, becoming a box office bomb and losing $90 million for Lionsgate. It received 5 nominations at the 37th Golden Raspberry Awards. Plot: in ancient Egypt, where the gods live among the mortals, thief Bek and his lover Zaya attend the coronation of King Osiris's son, Horus. However, Osiris is killed by his jealous brother Set, who then defeats Horus and takes his eyes. Set proclaims himself the new king and commands humans to pay riches to pass into the afterlife. 1 year later, with Egypt enslaved by Set and Isis having committed suicide, Zaya steals plans for Set's pyramid from chief architect Urdu. Bek uses the plans to infiltrate Set's treasure vault and steals one of Horus's eyes, but he and Zaya are caught by Urdu, who kills Zaya as she and Bek try to escape. Bek takes her body to the exiled Horus along with the eye and promises to help find the other if he brings Zaya back from the dead. Meanwhile, Set launches an assault on the rebels and claims the wings of his wife Nephthys. Bek and Horus visit the divine vessel of Horus's grandfather Ra, who is neutral about matters in Egypt and in conflict with the shadow beast Apophis, which threatens to devour the world. Ra does not restore Horus's power but allows him to take a vial of divine waters to weaken Set. Ra explains that Horus's loss of his powers is the result of not fulfilling his destiny, which Horus believes means avenging his parents' deaths. Returning to Egypt, Bek and Horus escape from Nephthys, who is then killed by Set for failing to stop them. Set orders Hathor to take him to the underworld, but she refuses and joins Bek and Horus after rescuing them from Astarte and Anat. They hatch a plan to infiltrate Set's pyramid, recruiting Thoth to solve the riddle of the guardian Sphinx. Passing the pyramid's entryway and the Sphinx's riddle, they reach the source of Set's power, but before using the diving water they are ambushed by Set, who incapacitates Thoth and takes his brain, traps Horus and Hathor and destroys the water vial. Horus breaks the trap and Hathor calls on Anubis to take Bek to save Zaya, offering her bracelet as Zaya's payment for passage to the afterlife, but in doing so exiles herself to the underworld. Absorbing Thoth's brain, Osiris's heart, Horus's eye, and Nephthys' wings, Set confronts Ra aboard his solar barge. Ra explains Set's mistreatment and impotency was a test to prepare him to take Ra's place as defender of the world against Apophis. Dismayed, Set decides to destroy the afterlife to become immortal and uses his new powers to overpower Ra. Set takes Ra's spear and throws him from the barge, freeing Apophis to consume the mortal and underworld realms. As Apophis attacks, Anubis closes the gates to the afterlife. Not wanting an afterlife without Bek, Zaya refuses Hathor's gift and encourages Bek to return to Egypt and help Horus defeat Set. As Horus battles Set atop an obelisk, Bek kills Urdu before removing Horus's other eye from Set's armor, mortally wounding himself in the process. Regaining his power to transform, Horus flies after Bek, realizing his true destiny is to protect his people. With renewed strength, Horus outmaneuvers and kills Set. Finding Ra wounded in the ether, Horus returns his spear, allowing Ra to repel Apophis and Anubis to reopen the gate.